Rhiannon. Senator Ludlam.
I've just got a few. Now, would you believe I was going to put a question to Mr. Wilkins about data retention, but he's fled the table. I'll put it to you later, Mr. Wilkins, when you come back. Mr. Irvine, what can you tell us, without compromising operational security, about the raid on the legal offices of Bernard Calleri and his colleagues?
Nothing except that a warranted search operation was conducted with the approval, as is necessary, of the Attorney-General.
Yeah.
I believe the Attorney has made a statement in Parliament about that.
He did.
From an operational point of view, I wouldn't add anything.
Okay. The Attorney also gave me some advice about where I can go later in the week for follow-up questions, so I won't ask you to answer anything that would trespass on the Department of Foreign Affairs responsibilities. Has Mr. Calleri and anybody else who had who was interviewed or who came across your staff when you were in their offices had their passport returned to them?
That's an operational matter that I wouldn't respond to.
Why is that an operational matter? How is that an operational matter?
Well, look, I'm simply not going to go into details about the activities that we undertake in respect of our legal national security responsibilities.
Can you identify for me what national security issue is even at risk here? You've been well aware. The national security elements at risk are covered in Section 4 of the ASIO Act, and in this case... Not having a copy in front of me, which is Section 4, what does that refer to?
It's the section which defines security and the elements which make up security.
How does raiding a lawyer's office who's engaged in advising the Timorese government at all impact on our national security?
Well, Senator Ludlam, you take the view that that what you have expressed is the only dimension to this case.
I'm happy. Mr. Irvine is actually very practiced at taking these questions,
the only dimension
Minister.
to this case. And of course, I can't go into operational matters either, but
I didn't ask you to.
But I can assure you that the way in which you have expressed the circumstances are not the only dimension to this case.
Well,
as the Minister who authorised the issue of this warrant, I think I can go so far as to say to you, Senator Ludlam, that it was a very strong case.
Feel free to describe to us any additional dimensions.
Well, you know I can't do that.
So
Senator
why should we trust you, Minister?
Ludlam? Because I'm telling you.
Well, actually, that really doesn't do it for me, I'm afraid.
Well, perhaps
doesn't do it for me in the least.
Perhaps it doesn't do it for you, but
or many other
me
people.
And the officers at the table are here to respond to your questions as well as we may.
Mr. Irvine,
and I am telling you, as the Minister who authorised the warrant on the basis of an intelligence case put before me by ASIO, that it was a strong case and there were more dimensions to it than you have expressed in your question.
I don't think you need to go further.
I won't, but I'm not able to go any further.
I didn't ask you to go into any detail at all. Mr. Irvine's actually very practiced at taking these questions. He's never once trespassed on operational matters, and the whole time we've been having these discussions.
No.
Well, he's already told you that he didn't want to answer your question for operational.
Yeah, and we had a rather senseless intervention then from the Attorney-General.
No, you put a proposition to Mr. Irvine that was false because it assumed that, by implication, that the basis upon which the warrant was sought by ASIO and authorised by me was on the footing you propounded, and that is false.
And you can't give me any reason to believe otherwise, though.
Well, I'm telling you, there were other reasons.
And you can't tell me what they are.
Of course I can't.
And neither can Mr. Irvine. One question I did put to you before that Attorney, that I think you deferred was whether the warrant was targeted towards specific documentation or whether it was completely open. Are you okay to take that one, Mr. Irvine?
Sorry.
The object of the warrant was to obtain material that didn't specify specific documentation relevant to the security matter being investigated.
Okay. So I don't suppose you're able to table the document that you're reading from?
No.
It never hurts to ask.
No.
You're not able to do that. I don't know why we bother. Mr. Wilkins, is the government presently, or the department, to your knowledge, investigating data retention anywhere in some dark corner of the department?
So far, I haven't been able to find anyone, Senator, who's doing that, but I have taken on a notice and I have asked the question. I want it properly answered.
Are you here tomorrow?
Am I here? No.
Right, so we have to wait till May.
No. I can write you a letter or send it into the committee.
Am I mistaken in thinking that you've got a room full of people behind you and others in some of the breakout rooms watching, and you didn't think anybody would come forward?
I've already asked them the question. I've asked for that advice.
You've had to go to everybody individually who
We
works
will
for
be
you.
we will be putting out a circular. I want to make sure that...
Remarkable.
It's not a conspiracy, Senator Ludwig. I know you see conspiracies
Ludlam.
behind every pot plant, but believe me, nor are there dark corners in my department. If you've ever been to the offices, it's full of light.
Oh, that's brilliant. Let's leave it there. Thanks, Chair.
Okay.